All right. Everybody wake up. Wake up. Let's go. If I got to be awake, you got to be awake. Hey, Andrew. Happy birthday, buddy. Let's see. Today at 1 o'clock. Broncos Bills at 1 o'clock. Oh, he's going to want to be awake. He's going to want to be awake for that. If he's not up in 15 minutes, I'll go get him. I don't know what time he was up to last night, but I know none of the football games yesterday were any good, man. So that sucked. Kind of like the ending to the Panthers game, wasn't? I mean, it was fun. When we started the third period, Kyle sat down. He says, "Come on, let's at least have some excitement." And we certainly cannot complain about a lack of excitement at the end of that game. In the first couple minutes of the third period, too. Hey, JC, Chopper, how you doing, bud? Boy, my computer fan is really burning. I turned off the heater. I might want to crack open this window because I'm cold, but I have a feeling it's like 90 degrees in this room, and the laptop is letting me know. Yeah, it's warm. Hold on a second. Jeez. All right, that should. We had another wren in the kitchen this morning. I don't know where to, I think it's got to be the same one. It's like a little routine we have now. I walk into the kitchen, and he's pecking around the kitchen garbage. I mean, it's closed. You can't get to it. Then when he sees me coming, he's and he wasn't in there all morning until maybe about 20 minutes ago. Trade Samizgevich. Chopper says, I'm sad that the Panthers lost to Boston. Could have happened to any other team but against Boston. Yeah, losing to Boston at home is never a big fun thing, right? Especially when you score like that. Thank you, man. Thank you, Matthew. Yeah, my neck is cold. I'm cold today. It's warmed up to a balmy 32 degrees right now, right? Hey, Ted, I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is my favorite one too, Matthew. The color goes well, but I don't want to block the logo. But yeah. But yeah, so it sucks that we lose it. You know, you score one. You had to figure it though, right? You had to figure it, right? We scored with 1.8 seconds left. And when Reinhart didn't score, or when Reinhart didn't clear the puck there at the end of overtime, and you looked and there was like 12 seconds left or whatever it was, you knew it was like, watch, they're gonna get us with like less than 2 seconds left, just like we did to them. Chucky says we never really got to the full checking game, so pretty happy with the performance and the loser point. Yeah, we never, that's a good way to describe it. Matthew, all of the scarves that I have are gifts from you all. I have not bought any of the scarves. These are every time there's a new scarf in the building, somebody snags one and sends it to me. SoFlo says I knew immediately, right? Right? It's just you knew it. All he's got to do is sky it. We're on the power play. You can't ice the puck. Just roof the damn thing. Give us 10 seconds of airtime. But the thing of it is, and I think I would think most of us might agree with this. I don't think we were winning that shootout anyway, because the way Swayman was playing, I have a feeling that we would have lost that point that way anyway. Axel says the Finnish commentators predicted Reinhart tying goal and Pasta in overtime. Yep. Yeah, exactly. The guy who got us there blew it for us. Right off of his freaking, I guess it went off of his skate. Oh, well. It was fun. You know, it was fun. Boston, you know, when Swayman plays well, obviously you see what can happen, right? Kachuckin says Chucky's not really being a menace though right now, and that's got to change. Yeah, you know, I had hoped he would watch my player grades and get pissed off, and that didn't work. Probably because he didn't watch it, right? Probably because he didn't watch it. But I don't know. I've said it a lot this year, and it really, the only thing I can say about the way the team is playing is that when they get to the playoffs, if they still have another gear to turn it on, then I guess we'll find out. And if this is it, if they're just so worn down, which would be understandable, right? You know, if they play the way they've been playing, it's a first round exit. I don't see any way around that, because most likely, I think the way things look out most likely right now, it's going to be Tampa the first round. And if you don't think Tampa wants to be the team to take care of us, you know what I mean? I think Toronto's got the division unless they choke it up. And I think 2 and 3, unless one of the Florida teams chokes it up, it's pretty much going to be Toronto and then Florida, Tampa, or Tampa, Florida. And that, you know, what's home ice in Florida, right? It's like one extra bus ride. Chopper says, starting off with some trade predictions, what do you think of Sam Bennett and Aaron Ekblad to San Jose for Michael Grunland and Jake Wallman in the fourth? I mean, I understand, but we ain't winning the cup. We're not winning the cup again without Bennett and Ekblad. It's Ekblad for the locker room and Bennett for he keeps the lines cohesive, you know. I just like my joke is the only one that I would make the trade for: Bennett and Ekblad for McCarr and McKinnon. That I'll make that deal. Gray White wants to know, in my opinion, who's gone AWOL on this team and not playing his best. We need more production out of the Bennett-Tkachuk combination. We absolutely need more, not just more production, but more nuisance, more of what they do. So I understand, though, it's January and those guys are only going to get up so high for a January game, but we need more chaos from those two. I like Luosterainen with them, but I just don't know if he's going to have enough ability to put the puck in the back of the net. I'm really beginning to think that they're going to – I'm really starting to wonder if they're going to be more active looking for a pure scorer for the top 6 or top 9 like we did with Tarasenko. I'm not saying I don't think they'll go after a defenseman, but – you know, the actual defenseman, I don't know how much the actual defense part of the defenseman is the problem. You know what I mean? I mean, Kulikov on the top pair is not optimal, but we're not looking to replace Ekblad this year. You know what I mean? Vincent says, Jaws, let's get a school bus, refurbish it, and go on an adventure. So we'll get the bus. And then there's a lady that's on YouTube that has like a doggy bus, and she picks up all the dogs and they snap into their harnesses and everything. Which, by the way, hey, thank you, Great White. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Great White. Much appreciated. But I want to say something here real quick before I get to the rest of the chat, especially for you dog owners. My daughter was in a massive car accident 2 nights ago. Somebody ran a red light, and the vehicle she was in completely flipped over onto its head. The vehicle is totaled. She was in the car. It was her boyfriend driving, and all 3 dogs were with her. All 3 dogs were with her. And because she had all 3 dogs snapped into doggy harnesses in the back seat, they're still alive and they're fine. So I'm not one to preach on the soapbox, but it's just food for thought. All 3 were snapped in the back seat. And when the car flipped completely upside down, when she looked back there, they were just like hanging there like, what's up? Instead of having gotten thrown all over the place. So I go back to the chat now, but I wanted to make mention of that. Yeah, 58. Everybody is safe, pretty much. Hey, Andrew, happy birthday, bud. Rosario says, I love how we're playing bad and still yet second in the division. I mean, true. That is true. We're very spoiled. We've become very spoiled now, right? But we know what this team looks like when they're playing at their best, and this ain't it. Soulflow says the thing is we all know that our playoff style works. Once Maurice locks it down and we start grinding out 3-2, 2-1 wins, and Bob becomes playoff Bob, we are the team to beat in the postseason. I don't disagree. The only thing I'll say to that, Soulflow, is that as long as these guys have the energy. And look, they looked like this a little bit at times last year too. They are just very much, what's the word I'm looking for? They're purposefully avoiding too much physicality, it seems to me. So which kind of makes it tough for Bennett and Kachuk to do their thing because that's their game, right? So we're in it. You know what I mean? We got less than half the season left. I think because Sam Miskevich has not really scored all that much, I still feel like they're going to go out and they're going to do one of 2 things, maybe both. I don't believe Maurice wants to go into the playoffs with Sam Miskevich on the 4th line. I think he's going to go get some big lumbering veteran to replace him with. I hope he doesn't. But I have no faith that they're not going to go get that guy. And then in terms of the top 9, I mean, it's full up if you count Jesper Boquist, but it wouldn't surprise me if the move they made was to go get another guy like Tarasenko was and then move Boquist down to the 4th line and have him be that guy and, the new guy for the 4th line. I don't have any faith that Maurice is going to continue to play Sam Miskevich on the 4th line come playoff times. And in terms of the defense, I mean, Bornfoot and Balinskis look solid, right? I know it's not playoff time and everything like that, but certainly if those guys have to be on the ice, it's not like, oh my God, you're not like, it's not like Jakob Kindle's out there. Yeah, Achari. Exactly. Matheson. No to the Matheson, but yes to the Achari. Soflo says, if everyone is 100% healthy and Maurice playoff style is very hard to beat. However, if that's not the case, Maurice playoff style is a disaster. Think back to 23 regular season. Yeah, exactly. Vincent said, just putting it out there, Erod is going before the deadline. That would be the name that wouldn't surprise me, Vincent. We agree there. I want to be clear. I'm not saying I want that to happen. But if they get the idea that Boquist can do Erod's job and you can clear out some space for a defenseman by moving Erod, it wouldn't surprise me at all if that was to happen. Chopper says Alexei that's a hell of a name. Says Toropchenko is 25 years old, has 1 more year in his contract apart from this one, and has a cap hit of 1.70. Who's he? What's his game, Chopper? Ted says, I'm a Floridian now living in New York. I miss Florida. I'm going to the Devils Panthers game this Tuesday. Nice. Yeah, I'm a Floridian living in Maryland, but I don't miss Florida. I don't. I went to visit. I'll continue to come down and visit, but like I said before, I go outside at night. I'm walking around 3 acres. Oh, which by the way, I gotta take a video of this. I don't know how big this buck is, but there is a massive buck deer that has been jumping the fence to get into the fence, and I see his tracks in the snow, and he's like right up against the house. He is all over the backyard. You can tell how big they are by the footprints. I mean, I think it's a moose. If I didn't know that there was no moose here, I would think it was a moose. That's how big the footprints are. I got to take a video of it. I looked outside my window this morning, and it looks like the freaking aliens were out there. It's crazy. And what's really nuts is that the fence is 4 feet high, and when you watch his tracks, he basically is walking right up to the fence, and he's like, and he just like it's nothing. Like he's just hopping over the fence and just landing right in front of the other side of the fence. I wish I had a one of those cameras that I could. Maybe I should put one of those up. I mean, he's like walking around. Like if he's walking around at the back door to where if he like headbutted the back door a little bit, he could be in the house. Wouldn't that be some shit? I wake up, there's a freaking deer in the house. So Chopper was telling me, you think he's on St. Louis's third or fourth line? He could be a boost to our third line if we end up losing Erod. Gotcha. Well, that's one of those kind of guys that Zito will find, right? Kachukin says we need the defenders, though, to keep the puck in the zone so that we can punish them against the boards and wear them out. Our defense doesn't have the hands for this style right now. Yeah. I kind of like Bornfoot's game. I really kind of liked Beliscus and Bornfoot together. And like I said last night in the recap, it's like they're duplicates. You know what I mean? They've got good speed. They've got good awareness. I like those two. Are they ready to be a playoff bottom pair? I don't know. You don't know until you know, right? We need one more veteran guy for sure. Because what are the odds that Ekblad, Mikula, Kulikov, and Schmidt are all just going to skate through the playoffs healthy again? We did it last year, but I mean, 1 in a million chance, right? Ted, yeah, I have 3 acres here. So when I walk around outside, that's what I was saying. That's why I don't miss Florida. This house, the house I'm in now with the land in Florida, it'd be like $2 million. It'd be like a $2 million house. I could never buy this house in Florida. Yeah, hey, Metal, sell the team. Sofa says a lot needs to go right for us to repeat, but that's true with every other team. We made the finals as the 8th seed and as Atlantic champs, just a matter of things going our way. Well, that's one thing that I've been thinking, Flo, is that there's an ebb and flow to the luck, right? There's the hockey gods, so to speak, right? And if nothing else, this last month and a half, whatever it's been, we certainly are going through the point of the season where no bounces. Like we got the one bounce last night with 1.8 seconds left, right? But for the most part, 3 guys will come down and the dude will make the right perfect shot and there's a big rebound and it'll just go right past our guys because it's just not the right perfect bounce that you need. So maybe we're just getting all the bad luck out of the way. Ted, I don't know who sent this to me. Dana sends me a lot, but there's a lot of scarves. I've got them laying down in every room at this point. Send more. Yeah, I could always use more scarves. Ethan, no, I'm still in the same house. I live in the Eastern Shore of Maryland. Kachukin says, realistically, who could we get for Roddy? I would think that if you're trading him, the only reason you're trading Rodriguez is because you're moving his salary out to go get somebody on defense. To me, That's the only thing that makes sense. So I would hate to think that you would have to lose him to get Connor Murphy, because with Murphy, you should be able to get Chicago to retain that salary. But they've got an extra year as well, so that could prove to be a problem. But it just depends on what, we as fans, this is the one thing we can guess, but we don't know what conversations Maurice and Zito were having. There may be parts to the game that the Panthers are not really partaking in because they don't really feel they have the talent. Yeah, Kachunka says 778 is not a good Bob performance. It's so weird, man. It's like when he had like what? It was like at one point there was like 3 goals on 15 shots or whatever it was. When you watch the goals, I mean, it's just there's nothing he could have done, especially on the second 2. You know what I mean? I mean, if the defense is going to allow guys right in front of the net to deflect, right? Like the Barkov pass to Reinhart, right? The Barkov pass to Reinhart goes right through the slot, and Reinhardt's right there to tip it in. Swayman had no chance, but it's still a goals against. You see what I mean? And so I think partially this really might sound like a reach here, but hear me out. I think this is really going to sound like a reach, but what the hell? It's Sunday. I think I can't even say this with a straight face. I think Bob's poor save percentage is a product of we are still allowing the same number of prime scoring chances per game, and the pucks are still going in. But what we're not allowing are the 20 other shots per game that were just half-ass shots by the other team. So in a way, it's because the defense is better. Hey, once the thought comes to the mind, I have to say, I don't know. We got to look at the what do they call that? The advanced stats in terms of how many shots per game are we really giving up, right? Is Bob still giving up the same number of goals, but we're giving up 15 fewer shots a game? You follow what I'm saying? SoFlo says, I didn't think losing Owe Almonte would be that bad, but we're definitely seeing it. Speed is most noticeable. The Bruins are a slow-ass team and should not be out skating us. Yeah. That's exactly it. Right. SoFlo says, I still don't like the idea of trading a core guy. Erod is important. No disagreement there, SoFlo, but we have to look at it from a little bit of a longer-term perspective, too, in the sense that how long are you keeping Samoskevich out of the top 9? And if you want to, are you going to re-sign Boquist, right? You know what I mean? Because everybody else has got long-term contracts, right? Barkov, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Chucky. Bennett doesn't, but it's a different position. In terms of the forwards, the guys that need contracts in a relatively sooner time frame are Rodriguez, Luosterainen, and Boquist. And I believe Maurice is absolutely in love with Boquist. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think either Boquist is going to be going anywhere, honestly, unless somebody wants to get paid. So I don't disagree about the Erod thing, but at some point it will become a numbers thing, whether or not that's before the cup run or after. It could be a situation where it's a summer trade, right? So I believe Bob is a $10 million a year player. Yes. Because when you pay a guy that much money, you're paying him to win you a cup. And he did that. And had the rest of the team not completely physically fallen apart, we might have 2 cups. And we still have a chance to have 2 cups with him here. So, yeah, I absolutely do. I can't think of any goalie right now with the exception of maybe Vasilevsky, that's playing right now that I would want even equal with Bob. You see what I'm saying? Like if Bob was out, I'd feel comfortable with Vasilevsky. Past that, nobody else has really proven that they can do what Bobrovsky's done. You've got guys like Swayman and you know, a few others that, you know, Otter and Saros, guys that have looked really good, but for what Bob has proven he can do in the playoffs, you know, yeah. So far, Chavi says, what if we bought out Bob? It wouldn't make any sense at this point because there's only the one more year. There's only the one more year, and it just, you know, we would save a little bit of money, but it just, Bob is staying. Bob is one of those guys that's staying as long as he wants to. He's the goalie that won us the cup. There's no way that they would do that at this point, I think. Craig says Erod has 2 more years, doesn't he? Yeah. I'm not saying he needs a contract immediately, but I'm saying of the top 9 guys that in the near, closer to the near future, right? Like everybody else just signed deals. You know, for Hagee, Kachuk, Barkov's got several more years, I believe. Lundell just, you know what I mean, got a long-term deal. So you're going to need to make a decision. You know, and Samoskevich, I think, only has the 1 more year on his deal as well. So there's some decisions that are going to have to be made there. And as much as I don't want to do it, if they moved Erod, it slots a lot of other decisions in a little bit easier. Let's put it this way. There's really not going to be, you know, you got Erod, you got Luosterainen, you got Boquist, you got Samoskevich. At some point, you'll have to make a decision to either only have 2 or 3 of those guys. I don't think you can have all 4 around long term, unless Samoskevich decides to start scoring. Right? He's got the tools, but net. In the back of the net. Now, I will say with Samoskevich, he does make some plays that I think would lead to assists if he was on lines with the better team. I'm telling you, if they put that kid with Barkov and Reinhart, just the chaos that he creates with his speed alone would create opportunities for Barkov and Reinhart. I remain convinced that if Maurice would do that, and just forget about he's a rookie crap, and just throw him out there and let it happen. Rip the Band-Aid off. I believe good things would happen. Is that a perfect line for the playoffs? I don't know. But it would at least showcase Samoskevich to himself a little bit better so that he gets a little bit more, you know, of the idea that he can be part of a good scoring line. And Metal says, I wish Maurice valued scoring a little bit more. Yeah, no doubt there. Right? No doubt there. Yeah, Samoskevich, I'm not saying he's not scored, but for the number of opportunities that he produces, I just wish it was going in a little bit more so that Maurice would be forced, you know, or at least we could bitch about it more. Soflo says, I think anyone that holds enough value to be traded right now is too valuable to lose. Erod, Boquist, Bennett, etc. If any of those guys get dealt, I think you can close the books on the cup chances. I see that, Trey. Yeah, so Flo, for the most part, I agree. For the most part, I agree with you. We need a little bit more production. Excuse me. That was Erod's first goal in 16 games. Come on. We need a little bit more. Right? So maybe hopefully now he'll bust out a little bit. Trey says Mackey is destroying his trade value. Ain't happening. Yeah. And Trey, I like what I saw from Bournemouth yesterday too. Yeah, no, I agree. Um, is he gonna stick? Are they gonna give him an opportunity to plug that spot next to Mikola? I don't know. I kind of was surprised that they put Schmidt up there next to Mikola, but I kind of get it. But I mean, there's only so much time. Trey says Bigfoot had a shift when we kept the puck in the zone for damn near a minute, and 3 to 4 to saves to keep him in the zone was him. Yeah. Craig says Mackey is tanking to keep Crosby out. Yeah, that's exactly right. As soon as the trade deadline over, then Mackey's going to be like, "All right, bitches, watch this." Yeah, good call. No, I like Bigfoot's game last night. Him and Balinskis looked right. Now, is that going to be enough to solidify things? Can you imagine telling Paul Maurice that he has to go into the playoffs with Balinskis and Bournemouth? Right? I mean, serious. Who wants to be the guy that tells, I should do a video where we force Paul Maurice, he's going to have to go into the playoffs with Bournemouth, Balinskis, and he's got to move Sam Miskevich into the top 9. That is like the biggest Paul Maurice nightmare for himself. Kachukin says Samo is going to get an NHL deal after the way he has potential 3-year deal definitely coming. I can't disagree there, right? Don't be surprised if we pay him kind of the way we paid Spencer Knight. I'm not saying $4.5 million. Maybe Zito is told, hey, we didn't think about this way. Maybe Zito told Maurice to keep Sam Miskevich on the 4th line so we don't have to pay him so much when the next contract comes up. So Sports Short says if we get rid of Sam Miskevich, it'll turn into a Tippett situation. He's going to be better. He's going to be better, in my opinion. And I'm a big Owen Tippett fan. I think Sam Miskevich is going to be more well-rounded. And how could he not? Look at who he's getting to play with and practice with on a daily basis. Remember what Yager did for Barkov, especially, and to some extent Huberdeau. Now, these young kids coming up get to see between Barkov and Reinhart especially. It can't help but rub off on them. Rosado says the Australian Open stream at 7 o'clock. I don't know, man. Kyle's running that show today, Rosado. Because he wants to he might want to do some football. So we'll see. I'm not sure. I don't want to make promises. Wait, what, Rosado? Trey says you could have Mackey and Jesper in the top 9 if he was on 4L. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. They're never going to do it. Maurice never going to do it, right? But it's a good point. What if we got like Dadenoff or Mike Hoffman? Is Mike Hoffman still playing? Where's Tarasenko? Let's get Tarasenko back for another run. He's already got some chemistry with Barkov. Put Chuck up with Barkov and Sammy goes with him. Barkov, Kachuk, and Sam Miskevich. No, that puts too much defensive pressure on Barkov. Barkov, Reinhart, Sam Miskevich, Bennett, Kachuk, Bolquist, Lundell, Verhaeghe, Tarasenko. I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you, SoFlo. Just let them rest now and turn it on and dial in their last 10 games. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Chucky's not the fastest skater in the world. He does a lot, but I think if Chucky would skate, he'd be faster. He does too much standing around. And a lot of the times when you see him skating, I think he looks slower than he is because he's always starting from a standing position. You know what I mean? He's he's not a big he's not somebody who moves his skates much unless he's around the net. So Hoffman has like 15 goals. He's at the Red Wings. Oh no, Tarasenko's at the Red Wings. Okay. Samo and Ekblad for Crosby. No. 40 games played for Vladdy, 4 goals and 10 assists. Eeh. No thanks. No, who else? That's the only thing that I mean, if we had to go to the playoffs with the guys we have right now, I guess, I like Jesper Boquist. I do, but there's too many guys not putting the puck in the back of net. Mike Hoffman. Oh, geez. Meadow says apparently Leafs fans haven't been too impressed with OEL. That's interesting. I mean, they're in first place. But, sometimes those guys at that certain age, they give all they have for one more year, and then it kind of tails off. Colin said, would Knight play tomorrow and then Bob on Tuesday? Yager has fresh legs. Let me see who we're playing. Flyers tomorrow, Devils Tuesday. I would assume you'd see Spencer tomorrow, and then Bobrovsky against the Devils. I think that would be my guess that we see Spencer tomorrow. Yeah. No, OEL is definitely having a rough year. Gotcha. Hey, Adonis. Brandon Saad? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know enough about him. But Meadow, that might be an actual sign because Meadow says Leafs fans go on about how the team sucks, even though they're clearly great. That could be a sign of maturity from the fan base, though. Okay? Because how many years have they said they were great when they clearly sucked? Right? So they may have learned a little something about why don't we just say we suck? And then if we win, we can say, oh, wow, it looks like we were great. That's dangerous if the Leaf fans are figuring it out. Right, Dave? Dave, you here? You guys here? Trey says, yeah, Devils on the back-to-back. They're going to take our lunch money again. Yeah. Philadelphia is going to get physical with us, and then the Leafs or then the Devils will skate past us. But it'll be a good test to see about Bornfoot and Belinskas, especially Bornfoot. Did Ekblad come back for one game? Was Ekblad back for the game that I missed? Because I've seen somebody post something on Facebook. Did he come back for a game and then his hand is still hurt, or what did I miss there? Because I saw somebody post something about Ekblad a few days ago on Facebook. Yeah, and then we got the California trip. Right. Hey, MJ, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, MJ? Great to see you, bud. He says, happy Sunday, Jaws. Hope everyone is having a good weekend. Good news. Reinhart got 2 goals last night. Bad news. David Pastrnak had the overtime game-winning goal to sink the Panthers. Headlines in a minute. Thank you, MJ. Thank you, bud. Thank you, MJ. Mike says, if I was a Leafs fan, there's no way in hell I would be able to sit here and tell anybody that my team is great. Their team has been great every year, and then in the playoffs, they drop the ball. Yeah, exactly. It's like being a Dolphin fan. The Dolphins could start off 10-0, and I'd be like, Talk to me in the postseason. Been there, done that, right? Yeah. So maybe they might be learning something, Mike. You know, they might be learning something. Plus, there's a halfway decent chance they might have to play, the Leafs might have to play Boston in the first round, right? Right now, I think it's going to be Toronto, Florida, Tampa, Boston. Florida, Tampa could weeble wobble, but I think we've got enough of a lead there in second. But I have a feeling Toronto's going to play in Boston again. Hey, Kyle. Wakey. Colin, not sure yet. Honestly, not sure what we're going to do. He's just now waking up. If there is going to be a stream, it would probably be the later game. I know he's kind of wanting to watch the Commanders game, so we'll see. I know it won't be the 1:00 game, but never know. Maybe we'll do a second half thing or something like that. He's just waking up. So he runs the football show. Both games. I'm glad we didn't do anything yesterday. Both games yesterday sucked, right? I mean, nothing was even close. It wasn't even. I walked past the TV a couple of times. It just wasn't even stop. It wasn't even worth stopping and watching for 10 minutes. Metal says, I think if Tampa wins their next 3 games, they're tied or ahead of us. They have games in hand. Let me see. That's what I mean. I think it could weeble wobble a little bit there. Yeah, they got 3 games in hand, but they're 6 points out. So if they won all 3 games in hand, they'd be tied. So that's about as weeble wobble as you can get, right? And in Boston, I'm not saying they got that part locked up because obviously they don't, but it could very, very easily be Toronto and Boston in the first round again. That's what we did that's what we did last year, right? Toronto, Boston, Florida, Tampa, right? It could be right, yeah. So it could be a repeat of that, just with different home ice. Right? Imagine that. Game 7, Toronto, Boston in Toronto. Huh? William says, I still can't believe people think the NFL playoffs beat the Stanley Cup play. Yeah, I'll never understand that take either, man. Nothing compares to playoff hockey, not even regular hockey. It's not even the same sport, especially once you get to the second round. From the second round of the hockey playoffs to the rest of, it's not even the same sport as regular hockey. Dudes can just take their stick and you can just start beating the guy in the corner with your stick, and the ref's like, I don't see nothing. What? Get up. Charlie says, we need Bornfoot on the team. Definitely maybe Adam Boquist with Bornfoot. That's a bit much. That's tough. That's a lot of inexperience on the ice for the playoffs. He's got some speed, but that's a lot of inexperience on the ice come playoff time. I think Maurice would be throwing up in his mouth before every game if we had to throw those guys out there. Not that they're bad, but we've got a lot of guys that would make good pairings. But in other words, like Mikula with Bornfoot, okay. Mikula with Boquist, Mikula with Balinskis, right? Talking come playoff time. Maybe one of those pairs would work. But putting them together, it could be a little bit tough. Hey, MJ, thank you, buddy. Thank you, MJ. Let's see what you got for me. I get my news from MJ now. When people ask me where I get my news from, they say, you watch Fox or CNN? I say, I watch MJ. Sunday headlines. Mike Vrabel is the new Patriots head coach. Texans and Ravens won yesterday. Ovechkin scored number 873. Deion Sanders might be the Raiders' next head coach. and the California wildfires are getting closer to downtown. Yeah, that whole situation, man. That's really a shame. No, it's true, MJ. It's true. There's been multiple times when you've given the headlines, and I've been like, "What? When did that happen?" It's true. Oh man. Thank you again, MJ. Much appreciated, brother. William says if you were to put Bornfoot and Boquist together, it could revitalize the transition game. Could be interesting to try now before the playoffs. I no disagreement there. Kind of like putting my idea with Sam Miskevich on the top line. It could put some juice into things. I like it. But now, so what you're saying, so who are you kicking off the ice? William Schmidt? I'm talking about Forsling, Ekblad, assuming he's back. Mikula Kulikov, and then Boquist and Bornfoot, and have Balinskis be out. Or Mikula Balinskis and give Kulikov. Kulikov looked like he could take a couple nights off. He's a mature man. He's a little bit older, but let's give him some nights off. Ovi is an empty net merchant now. Yeah, I understand that. MJ Sandal's still in development. Yep. Yeah, Schmidt could use some rest. That too. Or do it while Ekblad is injured. Right. I mean, Ekblad just needs to go to the LTIR. Right? I don't understand why he's not on LTIR. I know what body parts hurt, but I think it's broke and he needs a couple months off. Colin, will we go to the Winter Classic game next year? It depends on how much the tickets are going to be. What's going to cost more, the flight or the tickets? Lewis says, I'm pretty sure Barkov is not 100%. No, it was Chucky that took that. It was Chucky that took that knee, right? Well, you know, with Barkov, you never know if he's sick, right? MJ, you going to the Winter Classic? I can't imagine how much the tickets are going to be, right? Yeah, Eki needs to be hurt next month. You think it was a lower body? So then Ekblad did come back that one game I missed, and then he got injured again with a lower body. Is that what we're saying? And he says, Jaws to say fly into Fort Lauderdale for the Winter Classic. It's possible. It's possible. You know, that's a whole long year away, right? We got to see how the doggy daycare thing goes, right? If I got people that want to go on vacation and I'm watching their dogs, right? We'll see. Ecky's Mr. Glass. No, MJ, I always fly into Orlando because my parents and my brother and my daughter live in Melbourne. So my brother just picked me up from the airport in Orlando. And then we just drive down for the game. Alessia says Chucky will be fine. She says he'll be fine. So then we're good. All right. We'll take your word for it. I mean, I think health-wise, I think he's okay. Right? It's like waiting to find out if you got the job. That's what this is like. It's like we're waiting for the playoffs to see how much energy they actually have left. Good chucking around says, when we do play Detroit, Tarasenko might break Ekblad by accident again. God says, I'll try to go to the game, but can't guarantee anything. If I can't go, then definitely we'll try to go to the Stars-Cats game in Dallas. Since it's not in Finland, yeah. I can't imagine how much those seats are going to be, especially everything Panthers is so expensive now. Hey, William, I appreciate that. Last time I stayed with my parents, um, I think we might get an Airbnb. It just depends on the schedule with the Panthers and everything like that. Because driving down for the two games was a bit much. Had it not been so rushed and had I not had to keep it a secret, I probably would have found a place to stay in South Florida for the 3 or 4 nights rather than driving all the way down to the game, driving back, driving all the way down to the game, driving back. It was, yeah, MJ. I had an Airbnb lined up. But then my sister decided that they were going to stay at a friend's house. And so staying at my parents was okay. Colin and I each had our own separate bedroom, right? It's just when you're staying with your parents, you're staying with your parents. You know what I mean? I love my mom to death, but you're always 5 years old in your mother's eyes, right? I'd come out of the room with the dish, and bless her heart, she'd get up off the couch to try it. And I'm like, oh, I can wash my dish. Sit down, relax. You know? Great White says Ekblad has only 2 goals this year. Will he ever get 3? Yeah, he'll get some empty net goal like game 80. Yeah. Remember when offense was his thing, right? When that was like he was going to be the offensive defenseman. Yeah, the drive was a bit much, right? The first game, the Friday, because remember it was around Christmas. The Friday traffic was really bad. We went to the Monday game. That traffic wasn't so bad, but the Friday was brutal. Trey says, I got to do an Airbnb this year, too. My mom's birthday is in New York, which I usually miss because I can't take that much time off work. But this is their 75th, so kind of got to do it. Oh, wow. And then the game will be on the 2nd. Boy, and Trey's got to travel. Trey's got to travel, that's for sure. Damn, that's a lot. That's a lot, man. Oh, not New York, New Year's Eve. Oh, okay. I see. Okay. I thought you were going to have to go to New York. Yeah, MJ. How old is my mom? I don't know how old my mom is. Well, let's see. My dad's 78. My mom is 7 years younger than her. So I guess she's going to be 71 this year. I believe that's what it is. Yeah. Hey, thank you, Great White. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Great White. Much appreciated, brother. Thank you. I see. Trading, you're usually down just for Christmas and then miss her birthday. Kachunga says, Benny broke his hand in the playoffs and we still won. Yeah, that hand was a mess, man. That hand was a mess. I forgot about that. That's right. That's right, because the whole sucker punch with Marchand, he was protecting his hand, right? That's right. Jeez. It's gonna be rough, guys. I mean, for the Panthers to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals again, we're going to have to beat Toronto, Tampa, and or Boston. We're going to have to beat 2 of those 3 teams. And those teams, they hate us. Let's just be honest. All right. The hate alone that those teams have for us, the motivation that they have, it is going to be, if we do make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, especially if we play against New Jersey, we're going to be just bludgeoned and beaten. Good luck. Yeah, then Marchand went for his arm, right? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Chucky needs to fight Pasta again. Trey says, but then if I stay for the game, my dad's birthday is January 3rd, so I might have to move back home at the end of the year. Jeez. Wait a minute. So when's your mom's birthday? Wait a minute. Your mom's birthday is New Year's Eve, and your dad's birthday is January 3rd. Well, that explains a lot about Trey. Both of your parents are Capricorns. That explains a lot about Trey. I'm so sorry. My heart breaks for you. How did you end up with a heart, Trey? Do you have a heart? Who did you inherit it from? I don't understand. Hey, MJ, thank you, buddy. Thank you, MJ. He says, we're talking travel. Where's the best place to go for a birthday trip? What would I do there? I think where I would go, if I could go anywhere, is I would find a secluded river in Brazil, and I would get one of those guides that will take me deep into the rainforest where I can just float and get to experience that without having to get worried about getting eaten by whatever the hell is out there. That's what I would do. You are too, Trey? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. How did you, 3 of you in the same house? God, my mighty. Jeez. Well, I guess that might cancel it out, right? It's like my mom and dad were both Leos. So like it got canceled out. That's why I'm such a nice guy. That's why I'm not an asshole. Right? I'm not an asshole, right? Right, Trey? Say right, Trey. Well, Trey's a Capricorn, so by default you think I'm an asshole. So your opinion doesn't count. You don't want to go to the rainforest? Oh, I figured I've already experienced Alaska, right? I've already experienced Alaska, so I want to experience the other end of things. Trey says, I'm on the board of Aquarius because that starts on the 19th or 20th. I've heard that when you're on the board, you get characteristics from both, right? Yeah, I mean, it's for entertainment purposes only, Trey. That's what I call astrology. You know what I mean? You know, I can't say anything bad about Capricorns now because your mom and dad are Capricorns, so that takes that out. That takes all the bubble. You know, there was a certain person that used to live in the home that was a Capricorn. That's why I asked you if you had a heart at all, because I didn't notice those people have too much of a heart. William says you should go to Hawaii. It was the best travel destination I've ever been to. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, expensive though, right? But I never got to Hawaii. I was supposed to have a stopover. One of my flights, I was supposed to have a stopover, but it never happened. When I was in the military, not commercial. I think we ended up stopping in Seattle instead. We were supposed to go from Fairbanks to Hawaii to Southern California, Mexico area. And instead, we ended up Seattle and then Colorado Springs. Don't ask me. I wasn't flying the plane. It wasn't my fault, right? And your sisters are Scorpio. Jeez, Trey, man, that must have been a fun household. Huh? So everybody either loved or hated your brother, right? Wow, my chat just took off on me. William says, I went to Australia because my girlfriend has family there. We stopped in Hawaii because we're pretty close already. Oh, nice. You went to Australia. I never went to Australia. Yeah, great. Well, I'd have fun on the Amazon River. Hey, by the way, somebody sent me on Facebook. You know, my parents they live in Brevard County. That's where I used to live, is in Brevard County. And apparently, you know how they track the great white sharks? Apparently, there's a big great white shark or 2 big great white sharks that have been hanging out right in that area off the coast of Brevard County. That was where I would always be in the water boogie boarding. So Yeah, the Amazon would be fun. Japan, I've heard, oh, I don't want to say anything bad. I heard some stories about Japan. I heard in Japan people keep like the roaches like as pets. Like it's not like a dirty, filthy thing. It's like how we have squirrels here. It's like they have just like roaches there. Wake up, Kyle. Yeah. Oh, geez, it's after 1:00. Yeah. Wow. All right. I guess go get the TV going. I guess. All right. Yep. I'm off. I didn't realize it was 1:00. Everybody. Kyle wants to go watch. But we got that. We got to root for Buffalo. We have to root for Buffalo because we need Kansas City. Anybody but Kansas City. So we actually have to root for the Bills so that hopefully they can take care of Kansas City at some point, because who else is going to do it? I don't trust Baltimore to do it. So, yeah, thank you all for all the super chats. Much appreciated. If Kyle and I are going to go live with any of the football games, it'll obviously be on the football channel, but I will make a community post to this channel and let you guys know. So, all right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. Thank you again for all the super chats. Go Bills. Go Bills. Ted says, do I think the refs are biased in favor of Kansas City? Oh, I want to say no. But evidence is hard to overlook. I would say Vegas likes Kansas City, and the refs have a relationship with Vegas. We'll put it that way.